Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into AI and how it's changing, well, pretty much everything. We've got this awesome ebook, AI-powered insights for students and professionals.
Yeah, and what's really cool is it doesn't just talk about the future. It
Yeah.
actually looks at how AI is already impacting how we learn right now.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. I'm all ears. Where do we start?
Well, the ebook starts by talking about this whole information overload thing.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like everywhere you look, there's just so much information coming at you.
Right. It's a struggle for everyone, and it's super relevant when we talk about learning.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to process all this stuff effectively?
Seriously. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose.
Yeah, exactly. So the ebook suggests AI tools can help.
Oh, okay, I'm listening. How so?
Well, think about it like this. Tools like ChatGPT are like those super smart research assistants you wish you had.
Hmm.
They can go through tons of data, like complicated research reports and stuff.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah. And then they pull out the main points, the key insights. It's like having a personal summarizer who can highlight the most important stuff so you don't have to read through pages and pages.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Especially for like students or professionals who need to understand complex info quickly.
Right. It's a total game changer.
Yeah, I can see that. So is that all AI is good for? Just summarizing stuff?
Oh no, not even close. This is just the beginning. The ebook talks about how AI is changing education so fast.
Like how fast are we talking?
Get this. $10 billion with a B were invested in AI education technology just last year.
Whoa, 10 billion.
Yeah.
That's huge. So where's all that money going?
Well, for one, universities are creating specific AI degrees now, like the University of Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, they have a new AI engineering degree. And it's not just in the US, the whole world is catching on. The European Union, they want 5 million people trained in AI by 2030.
Wow, okay. So AI is clearly becoming a big deal globally, but what does that actually mean for students and teachers right now, like in classrooms today?
Well, there are some really cool examples in the book. Have you heard of Amira?
Amira. Rings a bell, but...
It's this AI tutor that gives you feedback in real time. Like, imagine having a tutor who can adjust to how you learn best and at your own pace.
That's pretty cool. People have been talking about personalized learning forever, but AI seems to be making it actually happen.
Right. It's not just a buzzword anymore, and it's not just about helping students either.
Whoa.
AI can change what teachers spend their time on, too. You know how much time they spend grading and doing all that admin stuff?
Yeah, tons, I'm sure.
AI can automate a lot of that. Then teachers have more time to actually be with their students and do more interactive teaching.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's not replacing teachers, but giving them tools to teach better.
Exactly. Now, there's one AI tool you've definitely heard of, ChatGPT.
Oh, ChatGPT. I feel like everyone's talking about it. But honestly, I'm not sure I totally get what it is or how it works.
Okay, so think of it as a super smart chatbot. You can ask it questions pretty much on anything.
Oh, interesting.
And it can answer them, create content, even have conversations with you. It's all powered by this thing called a large language model.
Large language.
Basically, it's AI that's been trained on tons and tons of text data, so it can understand and write like a human.
Whoa, so it's like a walking, talking encyclopedia you can chat with.
Exactly. And get this. You can use it on your computer or your phone, and you can talk to it or type. So convenient.
Okay, that's super handy.
Yeah.
So for students, how would they actually use ChatGPT for schoolwork?
Oh, the possibilities are endless. Imagine getting tutoring whenever you need it, instant feedback on your essays,
Wow.
help with research, study guides made just for you. ChatGPT can do all that.
Okay, that's a lot. What about professionals? Are they using ChatGPT at work too?
That's a great question, and it's actually something we're going to get into later in this deep dive. But just to give you a teaser,
Right, tease away.
professionals are using ChatGPT to write reports, emails, analyze data, even come up with marketing ideas. It's becoming a must-have tool in so many different fields.
Okay, now I'm even more curious to hear about that.
Yeah.
But before we move on, can we unpack this large language model thing a bit more?
Sure. Imagine you could feed a computer program like millions of books, articles, and websites.
Whoa, that's a lot of reading.
Right. Well, that's basically what's happening with these models. They're trained on massive amounts of text, which means they learn language patterns, understand context, all that.
So they're learning by example, like how humans pick up language.
Exactly. And the more data they're trained on, the better they get at using language. ChatGPT is a perfect example of how these models are being used to make powerful AI tools.
This is all really interesting, but I feel like we're just scratching the surface here.
We are. The ebook has so much more to explore.
We'll lead the way. Let's hear how AI is shaking things up in the working world.
Okay, so we've seen how AI is changing the game in education, but let's talk about jobs.
Okay, so we've seen how AI is shaking up schools and even making learning faster. But what about the jobs AI itself will create? I'm ready to hear how this ebook sees the future of work.
All right, so you walk into your office, right?
Mhm.
And instead of doing all those boring routine tasks,
Yeah,
you're working on the big picture strategies, solving creative problems, collaborating on cool projects. That's what the ebook describes.
that sounds amazing. So AI handles all the boring stuff, and us humans get to focus on the interesting work using our creativity and strategy skills.
Exactly. It's not about AI taking jobs, it's about AI transforming them.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
AI is great with data and patterns, but it still struggles with those more human aspects of work, right?
Yeah, it's like AI can handle the what, but we're still needed for the why and the how.
That's a great way to put it.
Mm.
So, how do we prepare for this future of work where AI is doing all the what?
Well, the ebook says it's all about developing those superhuman skills that'll be in high demand. Communication, teamwork, adaptability.
Well, and things like emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That stuff's going to be key.
It makes you wonder, will we see people studying more humanities again? Like philosophy, art, literature. Those were kind of pushed aside in the STEM craze.
That's interesting. Maybe those fields will be just as important in this AI-driven world.
Maybe.
Mm,
It definitely shows how education has to keep changing as technology changes.
you got it.
Speaking of education, I want to circle back to those real-world examples of AI in schools. We talked about Jill Watson, the AI teaching assistant at Georgia Tech.
Mm.
My mind was blown. What other examples did the ebook have?
There are some really inspiring projects out there. Like, have you heard of Help Me See?
Help me see.
Mm.
Tell me more.
It's at the University of Alicante in Spain. They're using AI to make education accessible for students who are visually impaired.
Oh, wow.
Think about it. AI can give personalized support, read text aloud, describe images. It opens up a whole world of learning that might have been impossible before.
That's amazing. It shows how AI can make learning more inclusive for everyone. Are there other schools doing cool things with AI?
Oh, yeah, tons. The ebook talks about Math's Pathway at Newtown High School. They use AI for personalized math instruction, helping students who struggle with math. And then there's Smart Sparrow at the University of Sydney.
Ooh, Smart Sparrow. I think I read about that one.
It's an AI platform that's making learning more interactive and fun, which helps students get better grades.
Wow, these are great examples. AI isn't just a theory anymore. It's actually making a difference for students and teachers.
Right. And it's not just about academics either. The ebook also talks about Oak National Academy in the UK.
Okay, what are they doing?
They're using AI to make all that administrative stuff easier for teachers, all that paperwork. They're saving teachers like 5 hours a week.
5 hours. That's huge. Teacher burnout is a big problem, so anything that gives them more time to actually teach is a win.
Totally. But with all this talk about how great AI is, we also have to be realistic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What are some of the concerns?
Well, one big one is cheating.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. If students can use AI to write essays or do math problems, how do we know they're actually learning?
Right. It's a real issue. The ebook talks about the need for clear rules about using AI in schools.
Makes sense. So some schools might ban AI for certain assignments.
Yeah, maybe. Or they might say it's okay to use AI, but students have to cite their sources properly.
Ah, so it's about finding the right balance, figuring out how to use these powerful tools responsibly and ethically.
Exactly. It's a conversation that needs to keep happening as AI gets more advanced. Another challenge. Teacher training.
Oh, right.
Even if schools have all the fancy AI tools, teachers need to know how to use them right, how to make them work in their classroom.
For sure. You can't just hand someone a gadget and expect them to be an expert.
Totally. They need training and support to feel comfortable using AI in their teaching.
It's not just about technical skills either, right? It's also understanding how AI changes the way we learn and teach.
You got it. It's about finding ways for AI to make human teaching better, not replace it.
So there's a lot to consider when it comes to AI in education. But even with the challenges, it seems like the benefits are too big to ignore.
I agree. And the ebook has all these case studies showing how AI is already making a positive impact in schools all over the world.
We talked about some cool ones like Help Me See and Math's Pathway, but what about the one that helps teachers? Oak National Academy, was it?
Yeah, that one. It's a great example of how AI can make teachers' lives easier. They're using AI to automate things like lesson planning, grading,
Oh, that's helpful.
even creating personalized feedback for students. Think about how much time teachers could save if they didn't have to do all that manually.
Wow, that would free up so much of their time to focus on actually teaching and connecting with students.
Right. And that brings us to another important point that the ebook makes. We need a balanced approach with AI in education.
What do you mean by balanced?
It means remembering that AI is a tool, not a replacement for teachers.
Gotcha. It's about using AI to enhance teaching, not get rid of it.
Exactly. It's AI and teachers working together to make learning the best it can be.
That makes sense. Earlier, we were talking about AI potentially making learning faster, even cutting education time in half. Do you think that's really possible?
Hmm. It's a really interesting idea, and I think it's worth exploring, but there are definitely some hurdles.
What kind of hurdles?
Well, the biggest one is probably how we think about education. The whole system is built around a fixed amount of time and a set curriculum.
So instead of everyone moving at the same pace, we need to create a more personalized and flexible learning environment.
Exactly. AI could help make that happen. It could create personalized learning paths, give students feedback in real time, and let them move at their own pace.
That sounds so much more efficient. But wouldn't we also need to change how we measure learning and give out degrees?
You're right. We can't just rely on standardized tests and grades anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We'd need new ways to see if students really know what they're supposed to know. Maybe they could show their skills through projects or real-world tasks.
And AI could give them feedback along the way.
Exactly.
That's so different from how we do things now, but it's pretty exciting. Students could learn what they're actually interested in and learn it at their own speed.
It would totally change education, and it would also better prepare students for a world where they need to keep learning and adapting their skills throughout their lives.
This all sounds incredibly promising. But wouldn't this kind of personalized AI-powered education be really expensive? Not every school can afford all that technology.
That's true. And it's something we need to think about carefully. We have to make sure that everyone has access to these tools, not just the wealthy schools.
We can't let AI make the gap between the rich and poor even bigger.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about giving everyone computers and software. Teachers need training, too.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure the way we teach actually takes advantage of what AI can do.
It sounds like there's a lot to figure out, but the potential is definitely there.
I agree. Imagine education where everyone learns at their own pace and can reach their full potential. That's the promise of AI in education.
That's an amazing vision. And it makes you wonder what other big changes AI will bring to education and work in the future.
The possibilities are endless. And as AI keeps getting smarter, we can expect even more incredible things to happen.
It's both exciting and a bit overwhelming, to be honest.
It is, but I think if we approach AI with curiosity, collaboration, and a focus on doing what's right, we can use its power to make things better for everyone.
I like that.
Yeah,
I'm definitely feeling inspired to keep learning about AI and be part of this conversation as it keeps changing the world.
me too. We all need to be active in shaping the future of AI, not just watching it happen.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, there's one more thing I wanted to ask about from the ebook. This idea of prompt engineering, it sounds like a key skill for anyone who wants to really use AI tools well, like ChatGPT.
Yeah, prompt engineering is becoming super important now.
Can you explain what that is for our listeners who might not know?
Sure, think about it like this. It's the art of asking AI the right questions in the right way.
So there's a strategy to it. It's not just typing in whatever comes to mind.
Exactly. How you phrase your questions can make a huge difference in the answers you get from AI.
I see why it's important. It's like learning a new language, the language of AI.
Haha. Yeah, kind of. And like any language, there are things you need to learn to use it well.
So how do you become a good prompt engineer? What are the secrets?
Well, the ebook has some good advice. One tip is to be super specific and clear in your questions,
So instead of asking, tell me about AI,
right?
I should ask something more focused, like explain the history of artificial intelligence, focusing on its impact on education.
Exactly. The more specific you are, the better the AI can answer you.
Oh, I see. What else?
Another tip is to try different kinds of questions. Like instead of just asking open-ended questions, sometimes try asking yes/no questions or multiple choice questions.
That's interesting. So mix it up a little.
Yep. And if you have a complicated task, break it down into smaller steps.
So instead of asking the AI to write a whole essay, maybe I ask it to come up with an outline first.
You got it. That way, you can guide the AI step by step and make sure you get what you want.
This prompt engineering thing sounds like a really valuable skill, especially as AI gets more integrated into everything we do.
It is. It's something that can help students, professionals, really anyone who wants to use AI effectively.
And the best part, it's a skill anyone can learn with practice.
That's the good news.
Okay, I think that's a great place to pause for now.
Mm.
We've covered so much ground already. The amazing potential of AI, the challenges we need to be aware of, and the new skills we need to learn to thrive in this rapidly changing world.
It's been an awesome journey so far.
It really has. And I hope our listeners feel excited to explore the possibilities of AI while also thinking about its ethical implications.
Because at the end of the day, the future of AI is in our hands.
It's up to us to use it for good.
Exactly.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into the fascinating world of AI and its impact on our lives.
I can't wait. Okay, so we've talked about how AI is like revolutionizing education, from personalized tutoring to like grading and stuff.
Yeah, it's been pretty mind-blowing so far.
Right, but how is it changing the way we work? Like, that's a big question, right?
Yeah, for sure. The ebook talks a lot about AI changing jobs, but what does that actually look like?
Well, the ebook highlights how AI is becoming a total game changer in like all sorts of professions, especially those that involve like tons of data analysis and efficiency.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Got any examples?
For example, there's this tool called Scholar AI that researchers are using to speed up like scientific discoveries.
Scholar AI, huh? What's
Yep.
that all about?
Well, imagine having this AI assistant that can like scan through thousands of research papers, find the relevant studies,
Okay, yeah.
and even pull out like the key findings and trends. That's essentially what Scholar AI does. It takes care of all that boring research stuff so scientists can focus on, the actual analysis and interpretation.
That's pretty cool. So it's like having a super-powered research librarian at your fingertips.
Exactly.
No.
And then there's Humata.ai, which is designed to help professionals like lawyers and stuff analyze, those super complicated
Meaning it's
documents.
contracts and legal briefs. Those things are dense.
Yeah, exactly. It can quickly pull out key clauses, identify potential risks,
Right.
and even summarize those long documents in plain language.
Wow, that would save so much time for anyone who has to deal with legal stuff.
It would. And these are just like two examples. AI is streamlining work and making people more productive in all sorts of fields. Oh, and we can't forget about ChatGPT courses for professional development.
Oh, yeah, right. Makes sense. As AI becomes more common in the workplace, people are going to need new skills to keep up.
Exactly. And the ebook has some interesting data on this. For example, a recent study by Pearson found that 75% of users said their AI-powered learning tool was really helpful for their professional development.
75%. That's pretty impressive. It sounds like people are realizing that AI can actually help them in their careers.
They are. And there's this course list called WIA Leading the Way. It's all about AI skills, and the enrollment numbers and ratings are really high. It shows people are eager to learn about this stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I'm curious, what about the people who are worried that AI will take their jobs? What does the ebook say about that?
That's a great question, and it's something the ebook addresses directly. One common concern is that, AI will automate everything and people will lose their jobs.
Right, that's the big fear, isn't it?
It is, but the ebook argues that AI is more likely to change jobs, not eliminate them.
Okay, so instead of replacing humans altogether,
Right, it'll free us up from doing the boring, repetitive tasks, so we can focus on more creative, strategic stuff.
oh, so the stuff that AI isn't good at, like
Yeah.
problem solving that requires human intuition and things like that.
Exactly. The ebook says that instead of fearing AI, we should focus on developing those uniquely human skills that AI can't replicate, like critical thinking, empathy, complex problem solving, those kinds of things.
We should be thinking about how to work with AI,
Yeah,
not against it.
exactly.
This is all really fascinating. I'd love to go back to those real-world examples of AI being used in schools. We talked about Jill Watson, the AI teaching assistant at Georgia Tech, and that was amazing.
Oh, yeah, she was a pioneer.
What other cool examples were in the ebook?
There are so many. One that really stands out is this project called Help Me See at the University of Alicante in Spain.
Okay, help me see. Tell me more.
They're using AI to make education more accessible for students with visual impairments.
Oh, wow.
Think about how AI can read text aloud, describe images, provide personalized support.
That's incredible.
It really opens up a whole new world of learning for people who might have struggled before.
It really shows how AI can make education more inclusive for everyone.
It does.
Are there other schools that are using AI successfully?
Tons. The ebook talks about Math's Pathway at Newtown High School. They use AI to personalize math instruction, which helps students who struggle with math. And then there's Smart Sparrow at the University of Sydney.
Smart Sparrow. I think I've heard of that one.
It's an AI platform that makes learning more engaging and interactive, which helps students learn better and get better grades.
Those are really cool examples. Seems like AI is already making a real difference in schools.
Oh, it is. And it's not just about improving grades. The ebook also highlights Oak National Academy in the UK.
Okay, what's their story?
They're using AI to help teachers save time on administrative tasks. Like, they've been able to save teachers up to 5 hours a week on things like lesson planning and grading.
5 hours a week. That's amazing. Teacher burnout is such a huge issue, so anything that can give them more time to focus on teaching is a win in my book.
Absolutely. It allows teachers to spend more time with their students and be more creative with their lessons.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the positive impacts of AI, but it's important to acknowledge the challenges too, right?
You're totally right. AI isn't a magic solution, and there are definitely some concerns we need to think about.
What are some of the big ones?
Well, one that often comes up is the potential for cheating.
Oh yeah, I can see how that would be a problem. If students can use AI to do their work for them, how do we know if they're actually learning anything?
Exactly. It's a valid concern. The ebook talks about how schools need to have clear rules and policies about how AI can be used.
Makes sense. So like, some schools might ban AI tools for certain assignments.
Yeah, or they might say it's okay to use AI, but students have to be transparent about how they used it and show that they understand the material.
It's all about finding the right balance, isn't it? Figuring out how to integrate these powerful tools in a responsible way.
Absolutely. And it's a conversation that needs to be ongoing as AI keeps evolving. Another challenge is the need to train teachers on how to use AI effectively.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
Even if schools have access to all the best AI tools, teachers need training and support to integrate them into their teaching.
That's so important. We can't just expect teachers to figure it all out on their own.
Exactly. It's about giving teachers the knowledge and resources they need to feel comfortable and confident using AI in the classroom.
And it's not just about technical skills, right?
Yeah.
It's also about understanding how AI can change the way we teach and learn.
You got it. It's about finding ways for AI to enhance teaching, not replace it. It's about AI and teachers working together as a team.
I like that. So even with these challenges, it seems like AI has the potential to revolutionize education.
I agree. The ebook has all these examples of how AI is already having a positive impact on schools worldwide.
We talked about some cool examples like Help Me See and Math's Pathway, but I'm curious to hear more about Oak National Academy, the one that's helping to reduce teachers' workloads.
Oh, yeah, that one. They're doing some amazing things with AI.
What are they doing exactly?
Well, they're using AI to automate a lot of the tasks that take up so much of teachers' time, like lesson planning, grading, creating personalized feedback for students.
That sounds amazing.
Imagine how much time teachers could save if they didn't have to do all that manually. It would free them up to spend more time with their students and be more creative with their lessons.
I love that idea. And it ties into something we were talking about earlier, this need for a balanced approach to AI in education.
Yeah, for sure.
What exactly do you mean by balanced?
It means recognizing that AI is a tool, not a replacement for human teachers.
Okay, I get it. It's about using AI in a way that enhances teaching, not eliminates it.
Exactly. It's about AI and teachers working together to create the best possible learning experience for students.
Earlier, we were talking about AI potentially making learning faster, even cutting education time in half. Do you think that's a realistic possibility?
It's definitely a possibility worth exploring. There are definitely some challenges to overcome, but I think it's something that could really change education for the better.
I'm curious, what are some of the things we need to figure out to make that happen?
Well, for one thing, we'd need to rethink the way education is structured. Right now, it's all based on a set time frame and a fixed curriculum.
Yeah, everyone moves through the same material at the same pace, regardless of whether they're ready or not.
Right. So instead of that, we'd need to create a more personalized and flexible system. AI could help with that by creating personalized learning paths, giving students feedback in real time, and allowing them to progress at their own pace.
That sounds so much more efficient. But wouldn't that require a major overhaul of how we assess learning and give out credentials?
You're absolutely right. We couldn't just rely on standardized tests and traditional grades anymore.
So what would we do instead?
We'd need new ways to measure if students really understand the material. Maybe they could demonstrate their knowledge through projects, portfolios, real-world tasks. And AI could play a role in evaluating their work, giving feedback, and making sure they're meeting the standards.
That's a very different way of thinking about education. But it's definitely intriguing. It would really allow students to tailor their learning to their own interests and goals.
Exactly. It would make learning more relevant and engaging for everyone, and it would also prepare students for a world where they need to be adaptable and constantly learning new things.
This all sounds really promising. But I also wonder, wouldn't this kind of personalized AI-powered education be really expensive? Not all schools have the resources to implement this kind of technology.
That's a valid concern for sure, and it highlights the need for equitable access to these technologies.
Right. We don't want to create a system where only wealthy schools can afford to offer this kind of personalized learning.
Exactly. We need to make sure that all students have the opportunity to benefit from AI in education, regardless of their background or the resources of their schools.
And it's not just about providing the technology, right? It's also about making sure teachers have the training and support they need to use it effectively.
Exactly. It's about making sure AI enhances education for everyone, both students and teachers.
So it's a complex issue with a lot to consider, but the potential benefits are definitely worth exploring.
I agree. Imagine a world where education is truly personalized and everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential. That's the promise of AI in education.
That's an incredible vision. It makes me wonder what other amazing changes AI will bring to education and work in the future.
The possibilities are truly endless. And as AI keeps getting smarter, we can expect even more incredible innovations that will shape our lives in ways we can only imagine.
It's both exciting and a little daunting, isn't it?
It is. But I think if we approach AI with a spirit of curiosity and a commitment to doing what's right, we can harness its power to create a better future for everyone.
Well said. I'm feeling inspired to learn more about AI and be a part of this conversation as it unfolds.
Me too. We need to be active participants in shaping the future of AI, not just passive observers.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered how AI is already in schools and workplaces, but this ebook keeps hinting at even bigger changes.
Yeah.
You mentioned this idea of a totally different kind of education, one that's super personalized and maybe even faster. Is that really possible?
It's definitely one of the most exciting and potentially transformative applications of AI in education. Imagine like a world where learning isn't stuck in those traditional classrooms or timelines.
Yeah.
It's all about tailoring it to you, your pace, your interests, what you want to achieve.
That sounds amazing. But how would that actually work? How could AI create that kind of personalized experience?
Well, the ebook talks about these AI platforms that could assess your current knowledge and skills
Okay, and then what?
and then create a learning path just for you, like suggesting resources, giving you personalized feedback, even connecting you with other learners who have similar interests.
So it's like having a personal AI tutor guiding you through everything.
Exactly. And it's not just about the learning itself. Even assessments could change.
Oh, how's that work?
Imagine instead of those standardized tests everyone hates,
Oh, yeah.
you show what you know through projects or real-world stuff, and AI gives you feedback based on your progress, not compared to everyone else.
Whoa. That's a huge change from how we usually do things,
Yeah.
but it sounds so much better for students. Not everyone learns the same way, right?
Right. This personalized approach could actually solve problems like students getting bored or falling behind. When learning is tailored to you, it's just more engaging and you learn better.
This all sounds incredible, but what about the practical stuff? Like, if everyone's learning at their own pace, how do we know who's finished with their education? Do degrees even matter anymore?
That's a really good question, and honestly, it's something educators are figuring out right now.
Oh, wow. So this is really cutting edge.
It is. The ebook talks about how as AI personalizes learning, we might see degrees becoming less important and these micro-credentials or badges becoming more common.
Micro-credentials.
Yeah, they show you've mastered a specific skill or area of knowledge.
Oh, I see. So instead of just having one diploma that says you finished college, you might have a bunch of these badges showing what you're good at.
Exactly. It makes more sense in a world where skills are always changing and you have to keep learning throughout your life.
Yeah, that's true. No one can just learn one thing and be set for their whole career anymore.
Right. And AI can actually help people keep learning.
Oh, how so?
It can recommend what to learn next, provide training resources, even track your skills and progress.
So AI becomes like your personal career coach.
Exactly. It's a tool to help you adapt and find new opportunities.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. It's clear that AI is more than just a futuristic concept. It's really changing how we learn and work right now.
I know, right? And it's only going to get more exciting from here.
What's one final thought you want to leave our listeners with as they continue to learn about AI?
I think the most important thing to remember is that AI is a tool. It's powerful, but we decide how to use it.
That's a good point.
We need to approach AI responsibly and ethically to make sure it benefits everyone.
Well said. It's been amazing exploring these ideas with you. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And to all our listeners, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions about the future we're creating together. That's it for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.